Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to Astro Colony with Lone Debater 7. And today we are going to be taking a look at getting our resource gathering automated. That's right, we're going to try to get resource gathering automated in this episode. In order to do that, we're going to need stacks and stacks and stacks of iron. Now, we're not going to be mining asteroids all day because I did actually go ahead and do a little bit of mining off camera and gathered some iron and copper. We are going to go ahead and start crafting some copper wire, however. And first things first, let's dive into the tech tree and kind of take a look at what we need to do. Just as a quick recap from last time, in case you didn't happen to catch the episode or didn't want to watch the whole thing, last episode we got our basic power setup with some water generation to make oxygen. We got our oxygen barrier set up so we can not have to worry about losing oxygen when we're at our base. And we also set up a smelter to get iron, copper, and gold all at the same time, assuming we have the ore. So that's what we did. Hope you, if you want to watch it, look in the upper right-hand corner about now, and there should be a link to the playlist that will have the first episode of the series, so check it out. Also, while you're doing all that, be sure to subscribe, like the video, drop a comment if you want to say something. I appreciate all of it nonetheless. Anyway, I'm just gathering a little bit more resources just in case. I mean, I think we probably have enough processed already, but every time you think you have enough in this game, you don't, so go gather more. It's mostly iron that I'm worried about, if I'm honest, because you need a fair amount of iron plates in order to build the asteroid catchers. So that's right, talking about asteroids and asteroid catchers. Basically, the way automation for resource gathering works is you harvest the asteroids. So the first step in that is by unlocking asteroid catching. You can build one of these asteroid catchers and do that. I'm also going to get handcrafting plates right now while we're in here because I don't want to come back to the tech tree. This allows us to make iron plates. We also want to get construction, but that requires these little head-looking points, right? We don't have any of those. Engineering science. We need engineering science. It's generated in the laboratory, which we unlocked under the engineering research last time. We haven't built the lab yet, so we need to look at making another 9 wires. So let's go ahead and start those. We get 4 each, so we'll go ahead and make 3. Back to the tech tree. We're going to want logistics for conveyor belts. Also gives us storage containers. We probably won't use those, but either way, you still get it. We want logistics blocks because that gives us our blocker, our filter, and our pusher. We need those for automation of the logistics system. And then basically all we have left is mining, which gives us a drill. You can put these on planetoids and actually harvest raw resources from the land. Pretty good, but situational. We don't have any raw resources. We can utilize that, but we need this tech in order to get automated catching because it is connected to it, right? So this is what we're trying to get, auto asteroid catcher. So we need to get construction. That's the next step. So in order to do that, we need to get some engineering science. Now to get engineering science, we need to build a lab. So to do that, if we hit K, the construction menu will open. And we can see a laboratory. It takes 20 wires to build, and it generates science points. So we can take this and put this down kind of wherever we want. Now I'm going to just say this now. This will eventually need to be staffed by astronauts, so put it in a spot where they will be able to access it or where you plan to have some open space available. So they're going to enter in from this little hatch right here. Like this is a door where it's supposed to be a door. This is where they enter in from. So you need to make sure they can access this space of the building. The rest of it does not matter. It can be enclosed in, so this is perfectly fine. They'll be able to access this later if we want. It does have some input slots if we want to automate this later, but I'm not too worried about that. Now, the second thing you're going to need in order to get engineering science is some iron and copper. I'm just going to mine this gold real quick. Hopefully we can get it before it hits the base. Because we could use some gold. Come on. It mined literally all the copper. Lame. Dang it. We only got 2 of the gold out of that. Or, well, it gave us 3. Alright, fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just going to split this stack. If you shift-click on a stack, it'll split it. If you control-click on a stack, it'll move it to the other inventory. Just a little tip. So this takes 5. We currently need more power, so I'm just going to go ahead and place down a second generator. Now for these, I am just going to run them on the floor because nothing's going to be going to those 2 blocks, so it doesn't matter. We'll throw in our half stack right there, and now we've got enough power to run everything. So as you can see, to make engineering science in the laboratory, you need 2 iron bars and 2 copper bars for each science, and it takes 12 seconds to make each one. So if we look at our tech tree, to get the 2 techs that we want, we need 6 and another 6. So we need 12 total engineering science. So we need 24 of each of these. So we're going to split this out to 24. Split this out to 24. So if you shift click, you can type a number in here, or you can use the slider, whatever's easier for you. Hit split, and then drop those in. This will go ahead and produce these points. They automatically store in here, so there is no output from this building other than it generates these science points for you. So it works similar to like the labs inside of Factorio, or so if you've played Captain of Industry, it's similar to how that science system works. So anyway, here we go. Let that churn for a little bit. And eventually we will see that we got construction unlocked, which will be great. We could utilize construction to make a constructor, is what it's called. I know, super basic, right? Oh, it's almost like they used a thesaurus when naming stuff, right? Nah, I'm kidding. But let's go ahead, drop this stuff in, grab these out. How much wire? Yeah, we're sitting okay. We're sitting okay. I do want to make some iron plates. I think I will just set this to keep crafting these for the time being, because we need a lot of iron plates. Each one of the automated asteroid catchers takes 12. Now you could take the intermediary step and build the basic asteroid catchers instead of the automated ones, or like making the jump straight to automated, because there is this block right here. It's 5 iron, and you can manually pull in asteroids and it'll process them. You can do that. It's semi-automatic as opposed to fully manual, but getting to the automated ones is such a short amount of time of hand mining that it's kind of like worth it to just wait and mine the resources by hand that you need to get to automated catchers, and then just use automated ones so you don't have to do anything with it. That's just my opinion. That's just my strategy. Do whatever you would like. If you want to use the basic ones, you can also upgrade them to the automated ones later. It's not a big deal. If you hover over a building or device or whatever, so like I'm hovering over this carbon reactor, if that could upgrade, I can push the U key and it will upgrade it. So can't upgrade, item lock, no resource. Yeah, there isn't actually something that carbon reactor can upgrade to, but if you do that on a asteroid catcher and you have the automated asteroid catcher unlocked and you have all the required items to upgrade it, you can press the U key on a basic asteroid catcher and upgrade it to an automated one with one button push. So it's fine if you want to take the intermediate step. I'm not worried about it because we should have more than enough iron, or more, like we basically are already at automated catchers. Like we have all the resources to get the science for it anyway. And we basically have all the resources to build one, so might as well do that as opposed to taking the time of setting up something that's not really automated and then trying to make it automated. You're just going to be disappointed. I'd rather just make the leap straight to fully automated, right? So that's what we're doing in this series. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with that strat. If you're taking a different approach, I'd love to hear how you're kind of approaching the early game when you play Astro Colony and all those fun things. Yeah, anyways. Ooh, this has ice and gold. That's kind of interesting. Let's get that gold. Yes, sir. Alright, we'll drop this stuff in, make some more ingots. So we've got 10 plates. We need 12 to get at least one of them. This has made us 6. Oh. Did I do my math wrong? Oh, no, I didn't. We spent 6 to get construction. Construction unlocked. I forgot that we queued it. So we can build a constructor, this guy right here, which actually makes the plates automatically for you. So I think we might try to do that. So I'm just going to turn off handcraft iron plates for a minute. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to leave this be for a minute. That's turned off. We now, or well, I need two more of those, please. Thank you. Tech tree. There we are. Automated catching. Auto asteroid catcher. Boom. And just like that, after we craft our last iron plate, we can build an auto asteroid catcher and show you how that bad mama works. Because they're pretty fancy. While that is crafting the last plate, I just wanted to show you a little trick. So for these hotbars, you do have several of them. If you use the F keys, you can swap. So like F2 is a different bar than F1, and so on. And you can assign different buildings to these if you want. So like what I enjoy doing, or what I typically will do. So the automated catcher is under mining. I like dragging this and replacing the basic one with the auto one, because I'm not going to ever use the basic one now that I can build the automated one, right? So now I have it on my hotbar, I don't have to go searching for it, and I can still build the thing that I want. It just took like 2 seconds to set it up, right? So not too bad. Just thought I'd point that out if you're interested. So I'm trying to decide how I want to set this up. These are just going to be our initial resources, so it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. But we do want a fair few of these. So I think I'm going to start them here, actually. We'll maybe leave this section open a little bit. Maybe we'll put one back there at some point, but okay. So as you can see, it's going to start automatically pulling that down. Even though it's not powered, that's fine. It takes 4 power for each one of these. So honestly, not too bad of a power cost, if I say so myself. Just plug that in, and it's at 100%. So we're going to need to add more generators to make more of these. You can actually filter what type of asteroids you want them to try to catch. So iron, copper, carbon, or ice. There isn't one for gold at the moment. I don't know if you get one for gold based off of research. You might. If you don't select anything, it'll just kind of catch whatever asteroid it wants. It'll catch one, put it inside, start processing it, and then it will catch a second one and put it in the queue so it can put one in right after. So that's kind of how that works. It stores the materials inside this inventory here. These little red arrows are where you can export from. So what we're going to try to do is export from this and bring the ores into the smelter, the ice into the icebreaker, and the carbon reactor should be getting the carbon ore, or icebreaker. Yeah, that's what that's called. That's what I said. Okay. In order to build the conveyor belts, we need to have more iron plates. That's why I said you always need more iron. This is why. Each iron plate, if you're making the plates by hand, you get 1 plate for each bar. So for every conveyor belt, you need 1 iron. Plus, you also need a copper wire. So if I go in here and go to paths and look at conveyor belts, it's 1 copper wire and 1 iron plate. So you need 1 of each. So you need copper and iron in order to build the conveyor belts in this game. So what I am going to do, we have a decent chunk of copper, but I'm just going to mine a little bit more here real fast. This one also has carbon, which wouldn't be bad. I probably should look at topping these up. Yeah, they're almost done. So let's go ahead and top these up. Drop our ore in here. I really need more iron, though. I was going to look at possibly building the constructor. Yeah, we do have... It's just copper and iron and wire. So we actually do have what we need for that. So I think we will build this right here. And I think putting it here is honestly a good call, because then I can potentially output directly from the smelter into this building at some point if I want. And yeah, obviously nothing's, like no astronaut or whatever is going to be going back there anyway. So putting this here is fine. I am just going to turn this building off, so if you see this power button, you can turn off a building so it doesn't actually consume power. Just so this runs at full, everything else runs at full efficiency. Now inside here, it works similar to the smelter. You've got your unlocked recipes, your locked recipes. These are you obtain these through research, so pretty straightforward. But as you can see, If we make iron plates inside of this machine, one iron bar gives us 2 plates. So it's actually twice as many than just crafting them by hand. So we're just going to drop our iron inside of that to make our plates. And we're going to manually transfer the resources from our asteroid catcher into our smelter for the time being. I'm also just going to hand mine a little bit more iron. I might go down and mine that gold asteroid as well, because extra gold never hurt anyone. Each solar panel takes like three gold ingots or 2 gold ingots, something like that. So having a lot of gold is a good thing, because each solar panel only produces 1 power. So you have to build 20 of them just to supplement the 2 generators we're currently running on. We're likely going to have a lot more than 2 generators by the time we get to solar panels, because they're quite a ways down the tech tree. So yeah, just bear that in mind. You want a lot of gold. So every time I see a gold asteroid, I make sure I go and mine it. Even if I have the automated stuff set up, you will get a trickle of gold from that. Don't worry about it. You'll get some, even if you aren't seeing it. You will get some eventually, if you have automation set up. But if I see the asteroid and it's not caught by a catcher, I go and mine it myself, just to guarantee that I get that little extra bit of gold. Because, yeah, I will utilize it for solar panels. You also use it, I think you use gold ingots to make the recycler, which isn't a bad building. You can get materials back out of stuff that you delete, so it's kind of useful in that sense if you're shuffling around buildings a decent chunk or at all, which you will at some point. Like when you go to the planetoids and things like that, it sometimes makes more sense to just place a new building and then delete it. You know what I mean? So anyway, not a big deal. We'll talk about that when we get there. Just filling these up. Might as well run our machines that are being powered, right? We are getting close, though. We should have a little bit of iron. Yeah, we got 16 in here. Let's go ahead and make some plates. I think I'll just turn all of those into plates. Why not? We're going to use them. Now, while that's doing its thing, we can kind of set up the logistics blocks, though. So kind of my plan for this system is I'm going to run this guy down like this. It's going to go here, and it's going to go past this belt. Or the belt will go here. It'll come across. It'll come up. It'll run this way, and then it'll run into this machine. Now, along the way, it's going to have to move resources into the various machines. So the way you do that is with logic blocks. You can just path the conveyor belt direct in, but using a logic block allows you to have one feed line with a lot of different items on it, and basically fuel the machines with what they need. So I'm going to put a pusher right here to push into this machine. You can use splitters. I just don't have those unlocked yet, so we're going to use a pusher. We're going to put one right here for the icebreaker. And eventually, now the only exception to that is the carbon reactors. So we can only power one of these at a time until I have, or fuel these automatically one at a time, or either or, until I get splitters. So we'll just do that last one. Once we get splitters, we'll be able to fuel this one automatically as well. Not a big deal. It's just the nature of the beast. We'll get splitters soon enough. We might be, well, we need engineering science for them, I believe. So we haven't been throwing our iron and copper into the research lab over there to get us engineering science for a little bit. So I'm just going to make 12 batches of copper wire by hand. That should match our plates. We've got 40 iron plates. We should be okay to get started. Let's go ahead and hit paths and see if we can't get our conveyor belt laid out. So there's an arrow. That's the direction it's going to travel. I'm going to start it right on this arrow. And as you can see, it automatically outputs all the items in the inventory onto this. I'm going to turn this, and it's eventually going to have to go through this pusher. Before I hit the block, I need to configure this. So once you place down your logic block, you hit the E key to configure it, and you can select up to 5 resources. So for the smelter, we're going to put iron, copper, and gold ore. Those are the only things from this that we want going in there. So boom, we'll do that. Now when the conveyor belt passes by, if it's any of those 3 items, it will be pushed into this inventory. If it's ice or carbon, it will just travel through that block along the belt the rest of the way until it hits the next pusher, which will pull ice only into the icebreaker. So as you can see, here comes some ice cubes. Those will go in. The carbon will continue along. And you can actually drag and do it this way. Yeah, so we'll do that. And we'll put one more like that, and we'll just power the last one. Boom. Perfect. Look at us. We just automated resource gathering. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And we also automated base level production at the same time. Well, almost automated. The only exception, the reason why I say almost, is because we don't have these on splitters. It's just feeding 1, not 2. And it needs to feed 2, not 1. So it's not quite fully automated, but it's automated enough that if I were to leave this running, it would, over time, just run continuously and generate us resources. And in fact, it probably would run infinitely or almost continuously if we turned off the oxygen maker. We might have enough oxygen tanks to do that. Let's look. Yeah, we've got 51. This would last us so much time on this barrier. Like, we could turn off the 1 consumption here. We could also turn this off. That's 6 consumption because we need 4 and we need 3. That's 7. We need 7 total power in order to run our system. We could turn this off because, yeah. I mean, I need to make more iron plates, so I'm not going to do that. But you get the idea. This is a fairly low power system. So it could run for a long time, but since this is automatically gathering resources, processing them, and those then get fed into the machines to process them the rest of the way, we have fully automated basic resources in this second episode. So let's go ahead and give a little what, because we got it done, fellas, we got it done. Now, from here, obviously I'm not content with just one automated asteroid catcher. I plan on filling this whole, well, maybe not the whole deck, but we'll probably put one here, we'll probably put one on the end, so maybe 2 more right there, and then maybe a 4th one right here, because I want to build something off along the back, but in order to do that, we need iron plates, because these floor blocks cost 1 iron plate apiece. So every single piece of floor that you want to build, whether that's on the same level or 1 level above, is going to cost 1 iron plate. So it will cost half an iron bar, or 2 pieces of floor cost you 1 iron bar, if you have a constructor. So it's quite expensive, realistically, to build floor in this game. So that's why I want to have a lot of these auto collectors, so I can then have enough resources coming in that I can make my my base the way I want, right? And kind of expand out. So let's go ahead. I guess the only other thing we could look at, we could try to automate iron plates, but I kind of want to hold on to the iron bars and just manually feed them, if I'm honest, because then I can, have a few in the bag. We need to make more engineering science. Let's actually look at the tech tree and kind of see what we might do next episode. So next episode, we'll probably go for engines. We'll probably go for manufacturing.